I'm going to be brutally honest. I think the finale of Roshidere was easily its weakest episode overall. Just not a very good mixture of fun and interesting stuff going on here. There was a little bit of a tidbit of almost Kuze wanting to correct Yuki during the earlier parts. And yes, like we kind of predicted for a long time now, the finale was surrounding this one speech here. And I think it's a good turning point for Alya herself. This is a massive point for her life, her stepping out there, being brutally honest, presenting herself before the people, and doing a really good job of that. It's just everything surrounding the episode is just not that interesting. It's not that gripping. It's not that entertaining. And I think the key reason why, and this is something that was presented back when they were debating against Taniyama, this writer's not very good at these speeches. Like, there's no, impact in the speeches themselves. They're not presenting anything fantastic or interesting. Back there with Taniyama, it was really just Taniyama presenting some very basic stuff, and it presented in a way of oh man, what are they going to do to get the comeback? It's the same thing here. Yuki steps up there and she presents something like, I'll listen to you. Here's a box. I'm going to listen to you. Now, she presents it, and they even point out that it's very basic. She presents it in a way that is appealing, but then still, it's Alya coming up there saying, I'm going to learn, let's do this, and then Kuze coming in there and saying, hey, my previous rivals, here they are. And everybody's like, oh my gosh. It's not that interesting. These speeches aren't that very interesting. So I feel like this writer's not very good at these kind of combative moments in front of a crowd or something like that. It's just not presented very well. But either way, we got a second season coming. So yay, more Yuki, more Masha, more Ayano. That's my big excitement there. I hear second season announcement and I'm like, yes, more Yuki. That's really what it is. Which I think that is sort of the sad reality that this series has, and I was actually planning on making a whole video on this, and I'll probably just do it in my review. Really, this series is at its best when it has its side characters. This really is a series that fails to present its main heroine. Alya is not very interesting. Now, she easily probably has, besides Yuki, the most depth so far, because it is a girl that tries very hard on her own, now basically having to rely on other people, but that only goes so far, or at least it's only gone so far. But we'll see what it does in the second season. I'm assuming that's probably going to be going into either summer or going into the second half of the year or whatever. We're not going to get into Yuki and the student council run or anything like that, because that's going to be in the following year. So we'll see where it goes from here, hopefully during the summer break, since that might be more focused on, yes, probably having Yuki visiting Kuze here and there. Probably going to be a lot of him spending time with Alya during their summer break, doing their preparations, right? We'll see. But it's still good stuff. I'm interested to see where it goes from here, and I'm excited for the second season. Again, if it's only just for Yuki and Masha and all those really great characters around them. So anyways, this episode, like I said, opening up, I think the beginning part of this is very interesting, because obviously we're coming into the aftermath of everything where Yuki was manipulating Alya. We're having them setting up what they're going to do for the speech itself, doing their preparations, and then yes, Yuki shows up. Now this is interesting because it's our first time of us seeing Yuki around Kuze since that whole thing with the, him being sick and the medicine, all that kind of stuff. And she's like, you're not mad at me, are you? Well, at first it's kind of like this, showing that Yuki has these masks that she wears, pointing out to Alya, yeah, this is her real self. This is the self that you've seen before, right? This is her manipulative self. This is the other mask that she has. Be careful when you're around her. Which was cute because it still has this moment where Alya goes, just want to make sure you do want to be my friend, right? Yeah, I do. It's just right now we're doing this thing. So at least it kind of presents, and again, it could be Yuki manipulating her again, but it does present this idea that Yuki is fine with being friends with Alya. It's just right now, when we're on this stage, we're combatants. This is a battle. You and me versus each other. Don't let yourself get tripped up here. But no, it was funny having Kuze basically, are you mad, brother? No, I'm not mad. Yeah, I just, it's kind of like a dog. When a dog bites you, yeah, you want to love them, but you also want to correct them so they don't bite you again. I'm like, dang, we should have had this conversation back at the house. Yuki needs a spanking or something. But no, it was very interesting that Yuki later on kind of thinks about the fact of, why did he have to be so mean afterwards? It really is throwing her off how kind of very blatant he is with scaring her. He's not trying to underhandedly, I guess, which for her, I guess he's a very clever person. So how he would normally get back at me would be through something clever. He's showing it a lot. He's being very blatant with it. So that's kind of an interesting little kind of insight there. It really does kind of show with her expression, the sweat on her face. And yes, with Ayano next to her, looking at her, these two are very afraid of what Kuze really is. And now that's going to be the massive question mark there. It sort of is showing these signs of them being fearful of his more clever side. They know how smart he is. They know what kind of a genius he is. So there is possibly a fear here of, what would he do? How far would he go? He could possibly destroy us because he's that clever. He would be able to put some sort of genius plot together that would probably destroy us. So it does kind of hint at a very darker side of Kuze himself with how much of a genius he is. And I'm curious if that's something that we will possibly touch in more in the future. If anything, it'd probably involve the So family. Maybe if and when the So family starts to really come down on Kuze, not just through Yuki herself, but the So family coming down, maybe the grandfather himself coming down on Kuze, would he kind of use his more genius side in order to combat them? So anyhow, very interesting there. But yeah, that gets into the actual speech itself. Like I said before, Yuki's whole thing, it makes sense. The idea of coming up there and saying, hey, yeah, I got the suggestion box. Nobody ever uses it, right? Wonder why. Nobody listens to it. It's like every suggestion box. You put the suggestions in there, nothing happens. So she's basically kind of pointing out, I'm going to listen. I'm going to really listen to you guys. This suggestion box is actually going to get utilized. We're going to listen to what you say. We're going to put things into action, all that kind of stuff. And like I said, Alya coming out there, really kind of cute way to kind of start the whole thing, just opening up with nothing but Russian. Oh, I flubbed it. I got so nervous. I started talking in Russian. And then going into, like I said, her really kind of acknowledging that she has these weak points, that she's a hard worker. She feels like nobody can work harder than me. That's my whole thing there. But at the same time, I'm going to grow. I'm going to become what you guys want me to become. Correct me, watch me, make sure that I'm on the right path, basically mold me into the president that you want, which again is a really good point for Alya herself. Just nothing really super incredible here. Again, we're going with Yuki is, I'm going to listen to the people, suggest things to me, I'm going to make it happen. Whereas Alya's over here saying, I'm going to learn, I'm going to grow, give me a chance here. And then, like I said, just kind of it being Kuze walking up there and really selling it. He comes out there, grabs the crowd, throws the jokes out there. Y'all wonder why I'm not with the So team. I'm not cheating on Yuki. I just chose Alya. We broke up. I broke up with Yuki before I started, hanging out with Alya. Don't worry about that. It was a funny little speech there. It was, again, kind of something that I kind of expected with this character. He's very good at grabbing the crowd, throwing those jokes out there, being very charismatic. He definitely grabs the crowd. And then, yes, going right into, these people that you think that we're enemies of, our previous rivals, here they are. If we actually get into student council, they're going to join. Not specifically that Taniyama and Miyamai is going to be helping them. It's just really, if you elect us, you're getting them too. It's a bundled deal. And they even point out in the backstage, Taniyama's like, that's it. That's all I'm doing. I'm not doing anything else. It's all on you now. I don't know necessarily that if I was actually looking at it critically at a student council, that would be a selling point for me. But, some people are going to see that because, yes, it technically does say, hey, all the friends, which is a lot of people, everybody that likes Miyamai, she's a very popular girl. If you elect me, you elect her, basically. So it's a good move, but at the same time, it's okay. But yeah, if I was technically in that crowd, Alya and Kuze basically destroyed it. I mean, it does technically present itself very well. Now, there is a side of me that, yes, the whole Ayano bit, that's a very big selling point. Ayano coming out there and saying, I'm a servant of Yuki. She's very incredible. That little thing. Ayano looked really, really cute. I did think that Ayano's little presentation there was very, very cute. I was kind of half expecting for it to kind of turn this whole thing where it was technically that. It's literally like the maid sitting there and basically divulging everything that she sees about her master. Like, yes, she does this great. She's this great. She's this great. Like, I've been watching her this whole time. Let me give you a breakdown on how great she is. But still, she could have gotten into like things like, and she likes to sleep in on Saturdays or something like that. Get into something like, it doesn't have to be like super embarrassing stuff, but it would have been really cool to kind of get into some like cuter side of things because that's what Ayano can do. She can present to everybody what they don't see in Yuki, which is honestly very clever if you think about it. When Yuki goes up there and she stands on the stage, she is this girl that's very popular. She's very beautiful. She's very, very fine though. And so she's going to present herself as, this is what I'm going to do for you. I'm going to listen to you people. And then Ayano can come in there and go, let me tell you the dark secrets. When she brushes her teeth, she giggles a lot because it tickles her gums. Something cute and, something that nobody, very private, but not super like invasive into her privacy. I think that would be perfect, but she kind of did that. But yeah, it wraps up. Yuki admits defeat, and I like how Ayano's like, you got a really cool, strong vibe around you or aura around you. And she's like, I wasn't really intending that. It was just a cute little moment there. And then, yeah, a little brief scene with Kuze, apparently failing exams. He has to do whatever Alya wants him to do, which I'm guessing is going to probably coming in the next season, probably during their summer break. She's going to say, I've chosen, we're going to go on a date together or something like that. And then, yes, them being on first name basis. There you go. That whole romance rom-com trope of two characters being extremely flustered over saying their first names. It's a Japanese thing in rom-coms. We're going to do it. And then finally promising to see each other during summer break. Because Yuki and Ayano are going to see each other a lot. They're going to be able to plan their stuff very well. So we need to see each other during the summer break, right? We got our excuse. Let's see each other during summer break. And that was it. That was the finale. Again, very, very weak finale. Not much to talk about besides, again, kind of getting a little bit into Kuze and him being kind of vindictive with Yuki and that kind of uneasiness that was kind of surrounding Yuki and Ayano, realizing that they basically have poked the bear and being a little fearful about what he would do. But it didn't turn anything that great. So that's it. Again, excited to see the next season. Again, I'm sure we'll probably spend a little time in summer break. Kuze and Alya hanging out, probably have some beach episodes. That'd be good. Ayano and Yuki every now and then dropping by to say hi to Yuki. Probably have some shenanigans there. All the usual summer vacation stuff. Probably visit some locations. That'd be good. But I'm happy that we got a second season announcement. So we'll see where it goes from here. But that's my thoughts. That's my thoughts on the finale. I thank everybody for dropping by on a weekly basis to check out my thoughts on the series. It's been a lot of fun. It's been very fun for the channel itself. Been having a lot of fun on Twitter with the clips and everything like that. So definitely appreciate your guys' support. But yeah, if you were here for my weekly impressions, I hope you'll stick around as we go into the next season. And I'll be doing first impressions of all the shows. And I'll be picking my shows that I'm going to be covering for a weekly basis then. But if you're new to the channel, though, make sure to subscribe to the channel so you get all my content. I also have some links in the description below if you want to support the channel. Greatly appreciate what it does. Until next time, y'all take care.